think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound?
Welcome to your WTF Landia radio show, folks. It's none other than your girl. It's your girl, Char Michelle. And I hope that you are well. I hope that you are splendiferous. I hope that you're splendid. I hope that you're fantastic. I hope that you're unburdened by the burdens that are burdening us over here. Just be a bird. Fly away. It's kind of how I want to feel right now. Especially with that. If I have to hear that one more time, this is going to go ahead and lose it or snatch out my eardrums while I'm at it. Guys, I hope that you're well. If you're new to the show, welcome to your WTF Landia radio show. I want to say out the gate, this broadcast is for insomniacs who need Jesus and everybody else in between who need Jesus. It's all for entertainment purposes and, educational purposes and all that stuff only, right? But it's definitely no cap. We stand on the solid foundation of God around here, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, that God. Okay, just to be very clear, because there's lots of gods running around this world. We want to make it very clear that we don't play that mess. And if you're looking around the world right now, you'll understand too why we don't play that mess. It's a confusing time that we're in, folks. I'm just going to go on to say it because I've seen some news today. In fact, I saw some news and it disappeared right before my very eyes. Right when I was about to repost it, it's starting to give me PST from UK. You can't. If you share something, if you repost something, dude got 24 months in prison for reposting something that the thought police thought was not okay. What? Okay. Keep up with that. But right now, we're here on this WTF Landia radio show, independent journalists for FCC non-regulators. I'm serious. We're not playing it here. We're going to get our thoughts out. We're going to pray for people, love everybody, even if they don't think the same thoughts that we think, even if they're a little less or more ratchet than we are. Everybody gets this prayer over here. I'm praying for all of us. Period. Our leaders, people that are trying to be leaders that we didn't vote in, the shadow government, all that. They all getting some prayer. They all gonna get this prayer. I'm serious. Because you know why? I have to talk about this. So what happened was one of my friends, I like to refer to him as a brother, a brother in arms here. We're over here loving the Lord Jesus and trying to spread the news that we're looking at, politically and culturally speaking. We're trying to spread the news out so people are aware, not worried, but aware. So basically, you wouldn't believe me, official, is the page I was looking at, and he had posted something, and it said, does anybody know about the fires that are going on and wildfires that are going on in Wyoming? And apparently, it started from a thunderstorm, the lightning storm. Now, and I think this is why they made him take it down. It started gaining some likes and some comments, 69 to be exact, before it was stripped from his post. And the fact checkers are fact checking. The fact checkers they're not even warning anymore. My WTF Landia radio show page is snatched within seconds of posting on one of I would imagine the more elitist people, Ellen DeGeneres and all the other, people that I'd be trying to post prayers for. As soon as I posted it, it snatched my page and said, if you want to come get this page, you better make an appeal. So basically my Instagram page is in thought police prison or whatever. Stop it. Where's our rights? Where's our freedom of speech? And this is the problem too, because if I'm remembering correctly, Mrs. Harris decided, she said something to the effect of, we're going to really start to look at, the way people use their social media. They have to be responsible when they're using their social media. What's responsible to you, it may not be responsible to me. Okay? I might think that my responsible party is posting fried dill pickles at 2:00 in the morning. You think, oh no, that's offensive. I have, what is it called? What are those things called? When you ASMR deficiency. I just heard somebody crunching on a pickle when I clicked on your page and it threw me into a post-traumatic stress disorder syndrome. And I can't. And now I want to sue you. So like, I'm trying to laugh it off because if it's funny, if it ain't funny. And it's not funny. So I'm trying to think about what can you post that could possibly offend somebody so much so that your page can get ripped out from your very warm thought processing hands. You know what I mean? I'm over here trying to do whimsical work and they snatching my podcast page out of my hands. Instagram, Meta, AI, Mark, Zuck, whoever's in charge over there. I'm not sure. But that's the problem. The problem is that we have now a lot of hands in the pot of our free thought. And so I'm gonna stick on the thought there, is that my buddy, his page, he posted that thing. As soon as it started guarding attention, people were like, "Wait, what?" So I think right now, here's what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna keep it $1.50 in my own change bank. $1.50 in my own regards. I think that, here's what I think. I think that we're supposed to be looking one way. And when you're looking another way, that does not steer them right. Whoever them is. I'm not sure who them is. We're still trying to figure that out now because we don't know who the shadow government is. I mean, we do. But, theoretically, like we're not like actually supposed to acknowledge them, right? So if you're thinking that this Agenda 2030 or you'll have nothing and you'll own nothing and be happy, or the stakeholders is alarming to you, then you're probably going to get your thought police, thoughts locked away. Right? So he posted that and it was like, what's happening in Wyoming? I had no idea because, again, I'm looking at Milton and Helene very closely, so much so that I couldn't even sleep at night. And see, here's the thing about me. Normally, I know that I've said this is a broadcast for insomniacs that are up at night, kind of thinking about the world, whether it's work, whether it's personal life, whether it's politically, we've gotten to November, guys. November 5th is going to say a lot. So whether it's that or just anything, right? It's difficult these days to get your head around a nice, cozy sleep sometimes because there's an actual lot of stuff we're looking at. And so if we're supposed to be looking one direction, which is a Category 5 hurricane that would probably rip sky rises out of the buckles of the ground, and then we'd start to turn and look over at Wyoming, that might be a little bit too much for the human eye to see. And so I had to go do some research since they snatched his post down. And it went on to say that there's concerns. This is a Tribune Express. There's concerns and conspiracy spread amid limited media coverage of the Wyoming elk fire, a wildfire that began in Wyoming's Bighorn National Forest last week has rapidly expanded, now covering over 75,000 acres as of Tuesday, according to the U.S. Forest Service, okay? So the elk fire was said to be ignited by lightning on September 27th. And now here's why I think that they ripped that thing out. One, people shouldn't be knowing there's too many catastrophes happening. Two, it could possibly, people are thinking really strongly on the idea of HAARP, the HAARP. Check it out. Look it up. Do your own research. That's what we do here. We don't like to point fingers. We just like to point you in the direction of your own research. And that could be with regards to certain modifications to the natural way of things, right? Whether it's a laser pop fall, that we've all seen those, videos where the laser comes out of the sky and strikes, and then all of a sudden everything's on fire. And we think, is that AI? And now because we have AI and AI is so rampant, we don't know whether it's AI from real life, right? So the fact checkers are fact checking. They're doing their overtime. They're working overtime. And so a lot of people are rightfully so. They're confused by it all, right? So you got people kind of not wanting to talk about it, but also not wanting not to talk about it, and not wanting not to sound conspiratorial, but conspiracies proving to be true these days, that you sound like a fact checker yourself when you're facting these facts out, right? So this is what we're looking at. 75,969 acres of land has been engulfed. And this is as of today, October the 9th. And crews are numbering 829. People are out there trying to, protect the nearby communities and trying to hopefully borrow some rain over there from Milton and drop it down on the forest fires, because this is a lot of land to lose. And one ex-user goes on to say, there's a serious disconnect with our media. I'm preparing for Hurricane Milton and haven't heard a thing about Wyoming being on fire. This should be front page news, and America's having to evacuate. Where is the media? Speaking of Americans having to evacuate, people are also saying in Milton, they don't know where to go. The roads are backed up. The gas, if you go to gas stations, I saw a video, this person went to a gas station and then it was saran wrapped. The pumps were saran wrapped. And so when you get desperate, your brain starts to think. And a like-minded thought was like, let me take this saran wrap off of the pump. Took the saran wrap off the pump, tapped his card, started filling up his gas tank, and realized that was a deterrent measure so that people would be deterred from filling up their gas tanks. Meanwhile, people were running out of gas, getting stuck on the roads on lowland, probably going to be stuck right in the middle of the storm, and it's starting to just frankly feel disrespectful. Americans can't even access their FEMA dollars or whatever, because some of them don't even approve, because maybe they don't have an address, or maybe they're not registered Democrats or whatever, Republicans, or whoever's in charge over there at the White House. So people are being turned down their applications for FEMA. They are not being able to get out of, the eye of the storm. And this is literally as of today, October 9th. And they are not, he's also not being aware of the thousands upon thousands of acres that are burning in Wyoming. What is going on, my friends? And this made me think. It made me take a hard pause and say, first of all, yes, in fact, I do have trust issues. That's not your fault. It's childhood trauma. So it's not your fault. But since I do have that, I'm very, 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 very timid when it comes to trusting. So I'm starting to think that, this feels like if I were diabolical. I'm just saying, if I was a diabolical demon and I wanted to, level up, they always say the Satanists, they level up when they do certain sacrifices. I saw a video where there's like roosters all over a beach, heads chopped off and whatnot. It's weird. What is this earth coming to? Stop. Just stop and pray. There's no need for all these seances and sacrifices. But it's giving if those waters go down on Milton after a week or whatever, however long these things going to go down on all these water reservoirs, that the mosquitoes are going to come up, right? The mosquitoes are going to come up. And what happens when the mosquitoes comes up? Does Bill Gates get his time to shine out there? I'm not sure. I said this yesterday. I'm also not sure of how people are going to exit the eye of the storm. Is this a big, big deal kill? People are dying. And it's starting to really feel diabolical. So I hope that this is not the case. But I am certainly praying. So everybody out there, do not worry, have no fear. Jesus is near. Later.